Welcome to Fun Tower Kitchen, and here's your host, Rockin, Sedaille'S. Woo!
Thank you, Justin. That was Justin the Sniper Snyder, who is part of the Fun Tower Radio family, and he listens in Boca Raton, Florida. Tonight on Fun Tower Kitchen, I thought I would make... I said tonight on Fun Tower Kitchen. That's Poppy up there, by the way. So, wow is right. So tonight on Fun Tower Kitchen, I thought I would make grilled steak with roasted potatoes and oven roasted corn on the cob. I've got some beautiful ribeye steaks here that I picked up at BJ's. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to make our steak like you would get it at a steakhouse in New York City called Peter Luger'S. Peter Luger'S, they use top quality meats, and most of them are dry aged. So when you get a meal at Peter Luger'S, you're gonna pay a couple $100 a meal, but we're gonna do it much cheaper. We're not gonna use dry aged beef, but my little secret here will make it taste almost as good. Now this meal right here requires a bit of prep work. So the very first thing we want to do is we're going to take these beautiful ribeye steaks and we're going to coat them with some kosher coarse salt. Like so. Nice bit of salt on there. Now these are very thick steaks, so don't worry about over salting them. Okay, salted both sides. Now, while we finish our prep, we're going to put these aside. We're going to let them sit at room temperature for about an hour. Now that's going to allow the salt to soak into the meat. It's going to tenderize it further, and it's going to give it some great flavor. Got some nice creamer potatoes here. I purchased these at Costco. I'm just going to take these, I'm going to cut them in half. Like so. My little helper is here. Poppy loves potatoes. She loves potatoes and she loves garlic. And she has a pretty keen sense of smell. Whenever I'm chopping garlic, she could be in the other room and I think she can smell it because she comes flying in and I have to take and cut a little sliver of garlic and give it to Poppy. Wow. After we rinse these off really well, we're going to pat them dry before we season them with salt and garlic. I love these bar towels. It's a great way to cut down on wasting paper towels in the kitchen. Transfer them into a bowl, like so. And then we're going to season them. We're going to season them with some salt, some of our granulated garlic powder, and put a nice generous helping on there, like so. We want that flavor to get in there. Toss them up. Now we're going to let these sit for a few minutes before we put the olive oil on there and put them in the oven. Got some beautiful portobello mushrooms here. I thought we would make some sauteed mushrooms. We'll saute them in olive oil and butter and a little bit of cooking sherry to give it a nice sweet taste. And we're just going to slice these mushrooms up. After you rinse them off, you want to make sure you pat them dry to get as much of the moisture out of there as you can. And slice them up like that. A couple of nice ears of corn here. I'm just going to snap them in half. We're going to roast them in this Pyrex dish, and we'll get back to this in a minute. All right, next thing we need to do is we need to coat our potatoes with olive oil. A nice generous amount of olive oil. And we're going to toss them up. All right, onto a foil-lined baking pan here. And we're going to pop these in the oven for about 40 minutes. And again, I'd like to take the potatoes and roll them over to the side with the skin, because that tends to not stick. I'm going to pop these in the oven, 400 degrees for about 40 minutes, which means we're committed now. So we need to get going on the rest of our meal. All right, over to the stove. And the next thing we need to do is we need to clarify some butter. We need a stick of butter for this meal. Now, when you're clarifying your butter, you want to make sure that you're not browning it. You just want to melt it and get it to that point where it is considered clarified, not cloudy. So we're just letting this gently melt on a very low heat. Thought we'd dress up our roasted corn on the cob with some nice fresh Italian parsley. Chop that up really nice. Okay, over to the grill. Next thing we need to do is we need to get the grill piping hot. So we're going to put both burners on high. We're going to try to get this sucker up to about 550 plus degrees. Now we're going to take half of our clarified butter and we're going to drizzle it over the corn. Just half. Now the corn's going to go in the oven at the same temperature as the potatoes. Corn's only going to take about a half an hour, but we're going to check on it in about 20 minutes. Some salt, parsley, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese on there too. And a little black pepper. You want to cover the corn with some aluminum foil. And we're going to pop this in the oven. Back over to the stove. We're going to get our sauteed mushrooms ready. We need some olive oil, a couple tablespoons of butter. Okay, we want to melt that butter into the olive oil like so. And we're going to keep that moving around. We want to get that nice and hot. And when we get it nice and hot, then we're going to throw our mushrooms in. You want to make sure the pan is hot because we want all of that moisture from the mushrooms to escape. Make sure that heat's nice and hot, and we're going to throw the mushrooms in. Okay, our grill is up to about 550 degrees. Look at those flavorizer bars glowing in the dark. Now we're going to sear these steaks for a couple minutes on each side. We want to get them nice and seared, but rare in the middle. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. Okay, let's see what we got here. Perfect. Nice sear marks in there. A couple minutes on this side. Again, we want them rare. All right, off the grill, right onto our cutting board. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut these steaks into strips. You don't have to necessarily cut all the way through, just like that. Same thing here. Cut it just about all the way through. Now behind me, the roasted potatoes and the roasted corn are done. So we're going to pull those out of the oven, and then we're going to put the oven on broil, high setting. See how rare that steak is? Now what I have here, these are called sizzling pans. They're made of aluminum, and we're gonna put the steak on these sizzling pans right under the broiler, and we're gonna finish cooking the steaks to whatever doneness you like. We're gonna go with a medium. I'll take that steak right over there. Now this is where the magic happens. We're going to take these. Remember that clarified butter? You guessed it. The clarified butter is going right over the steak, just like that. Just a little bit of clarified butter on each one, in through those cuts, like so. And then we're going to put these under the broiler. And again, you keep them under the broiler till they're done to your likeness. And right under the broiler. And we'll let that go for a few minutes. Peter Luger style steak. Check it for doneness. Medium. That's perfect. Look at that. Now we're not going to let any of this butter go to waste. You want to put it right over the steak. Just like that. There we go. I did not forget about our sauteed mushrooms. See how that sherry cooked down? And put that right over the steak. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Just like that. That looks really good. I want to put our corn in bowls, like so. And then you don't want to let any of this go to waste. Right over the corn, just like that. Look at that. Parmesan cheese in there. It's going to be really good. Perfect. I am very excited about this.
Looks good.
This is my take on Peter Luger steak.
Ooh.
Now, I've never eaten there, have you?
Me neither.
I understand that the meals are quite pricey there.
Yeah, that's why I've never eaten there.
So what are you thinking, like maybe $150, $200 for a steak?
Yeah, maybe.
So I have Peter Luger style steak, which is basically, we seared it on the grill, kept it rare, and then we poured some clarified butter over it and put it under the broiler in the oven. I've got roasted potatoes and roasted corn on the cob. Who's your friend?
Oh, Poppy just flew in.
She just flew in, okay. Anyway, let's try this. I've got it cooked to a medium doneness.
That's just really good.
Isn't that amazing? What the butter, it just brings out the really nice taste. So I have a bottle of Hess Select Cabernet Sauvignon. Nice, rich Cabernet.
Poppy likes that sound.
She does. You want to step?
No.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.